Hey ho, superhumans! Welcome back to another video. I'm Lori, and I'm super inspired today to share with you a direct path to your freedom within. So if you're new here on the channel, know that our whole goal is really to guide you in rediscovering your truth, your aliveness, and your freedom within. Because you can. It is simply a choice, and knowing the how, which is our specialty here at Freedom Within Wellness. So if you are enjoying these videos and you're getting benefit, please do hit the subscribe button below, as well as the bell. This makes sure that you're notified of our videos as soon as they come out. And do check in the comments below. We offer free events every month so that everyone and anyone has an opportunity to connect with us directly and to really feel if this is for you or not. So when we talk about freedom within, it's really about recognizing and rediscovering who we are underneath this big jacket of conditioning, of who we've been taught we're supposed to be, of what we're supposed to believe, of how we're supposed to act, what we're supposed to like, etc., rather than just be ourselves and trust ourselves, because we are whole and complete already. But this jacket of conditioning, including all of this belief that we're not perfect the way we are, that we have to constantly strive to be better, we constantly have to strive to try harder and do more and wait, and that to be free, and that being free is all the way out there somewhere, and we have to work so hard to get there. That is also all part of that conditioning. So freedom within is very much recognizing that we are already whole and complete, and that whenever things come on from that conditioning, that we actually recognize it. Now, what's part inside that social conditioning is very much our patterns that our nervous system has really built in for us to protect us. So when we were young, if we were feeling that we weren't enough, of course, we would have brought on all kinds of patterns, maybe of perfectionism. This is a very, very common one. So needing to be perfect, feeling that we're not going to get the love and belong if we don't do things perfectly. Or it might be a pattern of responsibility where I will be loved and accepted and feel safer if I take responsibility for everybody else's happiness and put myself last. Or we may have developed some real fears of being alone, abandonment, or we may have developed some patterns of becoming super, super pleasing. And even though we're being requested to do something we really don't feel we want to do, and here, with that social conditioning, we actually end up saying yes and really regretting it, and it's really having a big impact on us. So those are all examples of patterns. Now, the direct way to deal with these patterns that I want to share with you today is to take scenarios that are happening in your life to work through some of these scenarios. Now, what I mean by work through is simply noticing them in the moment when they're actually happening. So using these scenarios is a real true way for us to really drop down out of these big patterns. It's not as overwhelming as just knowing that you have this pattern and it just kind of is infiltrating everything that you do. I want to share a way that I have used a scenario before to help me really get at one of these patterns. And in this case, it's a pattern of perfectionism. Many years ago, I decided to start salsa dancing. And if you've salsa danced before, you know that it's not something you learn in a couple of days. It can literally take 6 months, maybe up to a year, depending what level you're striving for, because it's very technical and it takes time. But me being a perfectionist and watching all of these people dancing so amazingly in front of me, and making it look so easy, I really felt that I should be able to do that right away. So I became very nervous, uptight, and in my perfectionist pattern whenever I was dancing. And guys would often tell me after they would spin me around, when I would return to facing them, they would tell me, "Whoa, what's wrong? Are you okay? Relax." And I had no idea what they meant. After a few people mentioned it to me, I thought, okay, there's something to this. And what I recognized through bringing presence to it in the moment in that scenario is that whenever they would start to spin me, I would go in so much fear right up that polyvagal curve that I shared with you in another video, that I would actually go up in freeze. And so I actually lost presence because I was so afraid to fall, make a fool out of myself, not look right, and all of that stuff, until I would actually get back there to the front facing them. I actually had no presence at all. So it quite shocked me when I recognized it. So right away, I knew that I could use that scenario to help myself with my perfectionism pattern. So from then on, what I did was really bring on a lot of attention to that scenario, just so that I could notice as they were about to spin me. I would take a nice deep breath, and I would connect more with my body to feel myself actually come around. And of course, my spins were already better. I had much more balance, because balance had always been an issue for me before, because I wasn't really in my body or present. And so I just continued to do this, and over the span of just a few weeks, I was able to stay present completely through the spin. And right away, because this does happen immediately, because I was able to kind of break through and drop down out of that pattern in that scenario, it was spread through my life. I noticed a big difference in my life in terms of how I reacted to many things where I had to be perfect. So I really encourage you to allow a scenario to pop up. Maybe it's popping up now as you're watching this video, or maybe it'll pop up later, but it will rise to the surface for you. Don't go looking, don't go making this work. And whenever it comes up, just know that because you're aware of that scenario where you know one of your patterns are really being played out, that because you're going to have more awareness now, and rather than beating yourself up about it, you're going to take it as an experiment. You can even give yourself a period of time to actually look at it. This really simplifies it for us. It helps us hone in, it helps us focus, and it helps us have fun with it also, so that we can watch the results. A big part of our main purpose here is really to be able to recognize the difference between that social conditioning, those patterns, and who we really are underneath all of this. We're here to wake up from that. So using these scenarios is really going to help you make this real. It's really going to help you hone in and help you get focused and have fun with this experiment of really allowing this to happen for you. You will notice that even just as you're experiencing it bit by bit already, what's coming back to you, how life is for you, is already going to change. You're going to feel a bit of lightness. You're going to notice people reacting differently to you. You're going to notice yourself reacting and responding differently already, because really how our world works is based on how we see it. So as we're dropping down out of the patterns and we're not looking through the same lens, then everything's going to be reflected back to us right away. So trusting this direct path to your freedom within shared here today really guides you in rediscovering your truth, your aliveness, and your freedom within. So thanks loads for being here today, trusting that you have a fantastic day and week ahead, and see you on the next video. Bye-bye.